Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. We are going to be talking about, will the housing market downturn be as devastating as the 2008 crash? Now, I found this awesome article that you guys really need to pay attention to. Now, if you're thinking of buying a house, the time is starting to look really good. Now, obviously, if you have cash, it's going to be a much better situation. You want to be able to put as much down as possible. Now, this article kind of talks about how that this crash that we're about to experience, or that we are currently experiencing, won't be as bad as '08. The reason is because back in '08, there was a lot of bad lending, right? There was a lot of people borrowing where they couldn't really afford. They were buying arm loans basically. And what would happen is they would start like the first few years with an amazing rate, but then those arm loans would kick in a few years later, and boom, their mortgages would double and triple, and then people couldn't afford it, right? So they're saying, so this article, let me find it for you. Unlike 2008, when homeowners had high interest rates that they couldn't afford, many homeowners obtained really cheap mortgages last year at around 3%. Now, they should still be able to afford their payments. Homeowners also gained record equity last year, meaning they're far less likely to be in danger of going underwater in their homes. In 2008, the ARM loans were among the cause of the housing market. So exactly what this article is saying, like, we don't have that scenario in today's market, right? The lending became a little bit more strict. But what this article is kind of not saying, well, here, let's keep reading. When the market crashed in '08, ARM loans accounted for a much higher percentage of all the active mortgages that they are now. Currently, ARM loans represent 8% of all mortgages. But just before 2007, they accounted for 36%. So yes, that is a huge deal. Basically, they were letting a lot of people borrow money that they shouldn't have been able to borrow, and it caused a whole problem, right? But the problem is that in today's economy, it's a little bit different. It's not like we're going into a huge market crash caused by a housing boom, right? Like, what's happening today is that the government eventually printed too much money, and we're going into a high inflation, and we're having high interest rates. So like I said in my last few videos, this is not going to be a drop overnight. It's not like people are going to just stop paying their mortgages tomorrow. But what is going to happen is that because everything is becoming so expensive, there's going to start to be layoffs, right? Layoffs are going to start triggering, the housing market collapse. Then there's also less lending. The interest rates are going through the roof, so few people are going to be able to afford mortgages. But more so than that is companies trying to borrow money. Small companies are not going to be able to borrow money. They're not going to be able to turn that money into profit, right? Because the economy is going to be shrinking. So what's going to happen is those people are going to, not do good business. They might go out of business. They might lay off employees. I'm talking about small businesses and medium-sized businesses too, even bigger businesses. Remember, a lot of people borrow money, and when you're borrowing at a higher rate, you make less money. So with that said, right, what I feel is happening is that in the economy, as it starts to slow down, as we start seeing some businesses start to shut down, as we start seeing, more layoffs, and you're gonna see the housing prices go down. But more so than that, when you start thinking about all the people who borrowed against their home in the last few years, that's what this article doesn't really talk about, right? This article is not talking about all the people who took out equity. Now they're paying more on that house. So although they might not be underwater, maybe, if you bought a house for $500,000 and it went up to $800,000, and then you got a second loan out, maybe you borrowed $100,000 on it, your house just became that much more expensive, right? And a lot of people did that. A lot of people did that because the government was basically giving away free money, right, with those low interest rates. And that ultimately is the issue, is that the economy is shrinking. Now, like I said, this is not going to be a crash overnight, but I guarantee you that in the next 2 years, 2024, 2025, you're going to see record low prices for homes. So the idea, right, for some of us who are able to, You want to just be patient right now. You want to save as much money as possible, and you want to strike in about a year, 2 years, maybe 3 for the right house. Trust me, you will get such a better deal. But the key right now is save your money, okay? Save as much as possible, because you will win in this race. If you're just getting into the housing market, if you're young, if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, whatever, right? This is the time. But don't be stupid. Don't spend your money on frivolous stuff. Save it, because you're gonna need it. Remember this video. In about 2 years, you're gonna have an amazing buying opportunity. And remember, there is no better investment than real estate. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like these videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much. And I will be making these videos on a daily basis to bring you the latest news on the housing market. So don't forget to subscribe, and thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.